Hello everybody and welcome to another Twilight Zone review. Today it is Season 3, Episode 20, Showdown with Rance McGrew, written by Rod Serling and starring Larry Blyden as Rance McGrew and Arch Johnson as Jesse James. And I have to say, it seems that this is often considered one of the poorer Twilight Zone episodes that people don't really like. And I have to say, while it's not a great episode, I admit, I don't actually think it's that bad. I don't get why there's so much dislike for it, but that's just me. So anyway, this is obviously a comedy episode, and not all the jokes work, but I think it's amusing enough. So we start in a Western setting, and we have two guys waiting for Rance McGrew, that like they're going to duel him. But what we see instead is that Rance McGrew pulls up in a car. We find out he's an actor in a TV show, and he's playing this part. So I thought that was a fine, kind of amusing twist on Western, so pretty funny. So we're ready to start, and you can see this guy really knows nothing about what he's doing at all, Rance McGrew. He fumbles his gun trying to practice tricks, and he breaks the glass, so they have to wait to start the next scene, which they eventually do. And this is a pretty bad scene, but it's obviously done as a parody of Westerns. Is it hilarious? No. I did find it amusing. I chuckled a few times during it. It's fine. And then we get to a point which is important, that Rance mentions Jesse James, and they really build up Jesse James, and we'll see why in a little bit. And we do get this fake Jesse James who's absolutely terrible. He comes in, the scene goes bad, the glass is broken again, which I did think was truly funny, and we get other bad things like a fake fight. And this guy's also pretty unlikable, Rance McGrew. He's just an annoying, stuck-up guy, and you can tell that they really parody and make these Old West legends look bad. So when we're getting ready to shoot the next scene, I'm not really sure how this happens, but Rance winds up, in the real Old West setting. He thinks he's still in a performance until the real Jesse James comes in. Now, when Rance figures this out, he's really worried. Obviously, Jesse James really intimidates Rance, who really wants nothing to do with this in all reality, and Rance messes everything up while trying, to keep up with Jesse to impress him. He can't even break open a bottle, which I thought, again, was pretty funny for the most part. Now Rance is truly afraid. He tries to leave. Jesse brings up a lot of things from the show. It turns out that him and a lot of the other Wild West legends are not happy with their portrayals on the show. They feel they are inaccurate. So he was elected to make sure that they get better portrayals in the future, I guess, as we'll find out later, which I don't think is that bad of a concept. There have been far worse Twilight Zone concepts, and far better, but I don't think it's that bad. So we find out that Rance really can't shoot right or fight, basically, even though he acts the part. And so Jesse challenges him basically to a duel, and once again Rance is scared. He tries to run away, but Jesse finds him, and when Rance draws, he fumbles the gun. He can't even really draw, so he begs to be spared, and Jesse says, well, maybe we can make a deal. I haven't decided what I want yet, but I'm going to keep my eye on you and obviously make sure, our portrayal is better in the future. So we go back to the actual show, and Rance asks where everyone went, and they're getting ready to start shooting again, but Rance is told, we have to stop for a minute. Your agent is here, and he has no idea who this agent is, and we find out that the agent is Jesse James. I'm not sure if he's still playing Jesse James or if he's another character here. I think he's still Jesse James, but either way, it doesn't really matter. All this is silly anyway. So what we find out is going to happen is that the show's going to have some changes. Rance McGrew is now going to be pushed around. He gets thrown through a window. That's the third time Nick Glass is broken in this episode, so that's interesting. And we find out that Jesse James has some ideas for next week's show as well. So the show is definitely going to change, and the Old West legends such as Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and others will be portrayed much better in the future. I actually think this is a pretty good concept, and the episode flows along well. A lot happens in 25 minutes. Now, not all the jokes work, to be fair. There's parts of this episode that feel a little dated. I do think the acting is fine in this episode. And, I'm not going to be hard on it. I mean, is this episode great or earth-shattering or even really thought-provoking? No. Is it a great Twilight Zone? No. Did I have fun watching it? Is it entertaining for a one-time view? Yes. So I'm going to give Showdown with Rance McGrew a 2.5 out of 5. It's a perfectly acceptable, average, time waster, entertaining episode, just like a lot of entertainment. So 2.5 out of 5 for Showdown with Rance McGrew. Excuse me. And as always, thanks for watching.